How much is an acre? How much does 1 acre produce? For Skagit County farmers, every acre counts. The right amount of sun, the perfect type of soil, and a mild maritime climate makes the Skagit one of the most fertile growing regions in the world. Skagit County farmers produce $300 million worth of crops, livestock, and dairy each year on about 80,000 acres of land. These acres provide local food to Western Washington, Seattle, and Bellingham. This is where your local food comes from. The profit margin for farms in Western Washington is 1 to 5%, which leaves little room for error and makes every inch of farmland valuable. So what would happen if each farmer lost 1 acre of land, or 10, or 20? This is what some Washington state leaders allegedly want. Winding throughout Skagit farm country are countless wetlands, streams, rivers, and canals. Some legislators and scientists claim that we can protect salmon by creating riparian buffers on farmland and planting trees along waterways up to 250 feet wide. But it's not that simple. The average farm size in Skagit County is 94 acres. One single buffer zone of 200 feet along 1 mile of river is equal to 24 acres of land, more than 25% of the entire farm. Mandatory buffer ideas, like those introduced in the 2022 legislative session, hurt small, new, and low-income farmers. This could mean entire fields are removed from production, forcing them to quit farming altogether and sell to the highest bidder, most often urban developers. Farmland will then become houses and pavement, not wildlife and fish-friendly fields. And once the farmland is gone, it's gone for good. Mandatory buffer bills unfairly blame farmers for lagging salmon recovery. Studies show that ocean warming, roadways, and urban development are more responsible for salmon decline than managed farmland. Farmland is a beneficial neighbor to waterways. A field of potatoes is more fish-friendly than a shopping center or a parking lot. Most fields are home to abundant wildlife. Farmers use best management practices to mitigate noxious weeds, runoff, and pollution. They understand the advantages of good conservation practices, and many protect and restore natural riparian areas on their own land. This undoubtedly protects salmon better than the alternative of urban or industrial development. Finally, we have no reliable counts of smolt, or baby salmon, from riparian projects currently in place in the Skagit. Why should we keep building habitat if we don't know it's working? With some decades-old projects, there is little data to prove the fish are benefiting. Before more farmable land is taken out of production, we ask for current, reliable, non-biased smolt counts in these areas. Every acre counts in Skagit County. With mandatory large buffers, imagine precious Skagit farmland being sold and replaced with development, not habitat. That's bad for local food production and bad for salmon. Extreme buffers and the shadow effect from trees will remove local food production in Washington state. Say no to mandatory buffer bills. Say no to Washington state's fight against farmers.